In the creativity tunnel on the island, beautiful magic happens whenever paint, crayon, chalk, or pencil is put to paper or canvas by the Shell Point Painters Guild. The mix of talent, skill, imagination, and a steady hand creates stunning artwork that's worth 1,000 words, and then some. Painters Guild member Suzanne Bennett talks about her involvement with the group and what her background brings to this fun and even therapeutic craft of creativity.
A little bit about my background. I, all my life, wanted to be an artist, and I went to college and majored in art, in painting, which is a story, and then I finished college and I didn't want to be a teacher and I didn't know what to do, so I went to I went to Parsons School of Design, which has sort of gotten famous with that fashion show they do there. But then I worked as a graphic designer, which means I designed a lot of publications. I knew I was coming here about a year before we came, and I would get the Shell Point Life. And I would sort of check off the events that I thought, oh, that would, and I knew there were art things here. And as soon as I got here, I joined the what was called the art studio then. And I'm doing a lot of art as much as I can, and I'm trying to be a little bit aggressive about it, and try to sell it, try to be in exhibits. But more than any of that, try to sort of do it with a little seriousness. I think that they help me. I try to, and so do other people in the Artists Guild, create opportunities for people to really do this with some energy and focus. We really learn from each other an enormous amount. Anybody can be taught to draw, and I do think there is an instinct among people to, at the beginning of their artistic life, to want to sort of say, I'd like to really replicate that thing that I'm seeing exactly. And some people can sit down and play a tune. Some people can actually easily sit down and draw something. That doesn't make them a great artist. It's a gift, but there are also plenty of people who are wonderful artists who struggle with that making something real. You don't have to paint a real thing. It doesn't have to look exactly, if you want something to look exactly like you see, you take a photograph of it. So painting is a little more complicated, and anybody can be taught to draw, and many people can be taught to paint, and it's a completely individual trip. There's no, SAT.
Suzanne spoke about the therapeutic benefits to painting as well.
I think when you're painting, you have a heightened state of awareness. You're kind of, all your synapses are firing away. When I travel or every time I have a painting, I remember that place. And certainly a lot of people at Shell Point are travel painters. We have some painters here who are really urban sketchers. That's a whole thing you can learn about online. But they use painting as a kind of enhancement, painting and drawing as an enhancement for travel. And for being alive. I think it's like when you're doing something where you're focused on it so intensely, you really, it is therapeutic, and it is a tremendous kind of release. And there are lots of famous, very old painters that move on for many, many years.
And what if you want to join the Painters Guild?
Well, literally, they just have to sign up. And we have a lot of communication. We have Dave Tompkins is our communications director. We have like a weekly email blast. We have a quarterly newsletter that's a paper thing. We have a lot of events. We have a party, a costume party coming up. We have things that come up pretty quickly, trips. We have gatherings where you meet someplace at Shell Point and you paint outside. And we have regular classes, and certainly the Academy has a lot of classes. So there are lots of opportunities here to get on board. So I think beginners are kind of tentative, and I don't think they should be. I think that this is a very positive, encouraging group of people. I've never seen anybody discourage anyone, and we have a lot of fun. And that was really what led to this event, the Painters Guild 7-day daily challenge, daily painting challenge. Kind of silly title, but that was the kind of event, is the kind of event we're going to do again, and it sort of takes the painting and drawing experience out of the realm of just going to class, but it's a kind of where you step up and you practice and you try. You know, you have a stream of days where you're experimenting. So they're not intended to be your greatest paintings. They're intended to be practice. Coming up with it took 2 years. I went to a workshop in Bonita Beach with Marilyn Fowler, and there was a young woman giving this workshop, and she was what's called a daily painter. And this isn't like a unique thing to Shell Point. All over the world, painters are kind of doing this daily painting. And there's a website called Daily Paintworks, and there are books, and there's really a lot to read and absorb about the benefits of daily painting. So I went to this workshop, and I thought, boy, I'm impressed. This is, you know, if somebody does 375 paintings, this young woman painted a painting every morning. And then this is their little painting, so it's meant to be her practice painting. So then she did her other painting, her bigger paintings, later in the day, or other times. And then Linda Friedebach bought this book that she read about daily painting, and I think Linda paints a lot. And so we got to talking about it. So then when I proposed it to the board, I said, well, I don't know who will do this, and I'm going to do it anyhow. I mean, I'm going to do it for myself. So I was surprised when 11 people joined in. And we're going to do it again. We have another one coming up in April.
Next week, we'll take a look at some of the results of the 7-day Painters Challenge by the Painters Guild. So stay tuned.